Naples.
Frattallone's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 973. I'd like to know if the Frattallone's on Grand and Dale has slush busters. Yes, you in the back.
Not only do they have slush busters,
Uh-huh.
not only are the other 20 locations certified to carry the slush buster, they have been so popular.
Really?
How
popular have they been?
There's been a second order of a run made.
Well, in other words, if I go today, they might not have one.
You might want to check, but
I'm
you
going to
don't
be
need
in
an
the neighborhood.
excuse to go to the hardware store.
Oh, you're right.
Why don't you ever go to Amherst? Why do you only go to Dale?
I don't like that area.
Okay.
It's full of commies from McAllister.
Eric at Ace would love to see you there.
It's December 2nd, 2022. 63 degrees was the high, record high on this day. That was back in 1982. And it was 17 below on this day in 1886.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Staff,
Yes, sir.
has anybody seen a bell ringer yet for the Salvation Army?
I saw one yesterday.
Because I have my money ready. I save money all year, and you cash it in. It's about $100 worth of change.
I was at the Hy-Vee in Eagan yesterday and saw a bell ringer.
Okay, my point is I have not seen one. And it seems the last few years they've been sparse.
I've not seen one yet this year, and when I make my anonymous $10,000 donation that always makes the news every year, I will hopefully see one.
I have two questions. Egan? Hy-Vee?
I looked at him, went, what?
What?
Yeah, I had some business to take care of. And
Okay, that's good.
Why would
That's
that
good
be
enough.
unusual?
That's good enough.
Egan.
Well, because he lives down in St. Peter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. I just had some stuff to do. So
Sure.
I was in
Well,
that
the
neck
reason
of
I
the
bring
woods.
this up is
Drug
I
dealer.
have a new idea.
Your own
New
ringing
idea.
bell service.
No, but there should be a bell ringing service.
Great idea.
Excuse me. In front of Target stores and Walgreens and CVS. Is it CVS?
Yeah.
And give people money so they don't go in and shoplift. I will give you $1 if you can tell me how Timbuktu alerts me to this. Target Corporation projects that it will lose blank million this year to shoplifting. Blank million.
2.8.
No, I bet it's
10.
way more than
10.
that. No, I think it's way more than that.
Well, then why don't you give me a number instead of saying it's way
I'm
more?
going to guess it's north of 100 million.
10.
You want to go again? 10 million?
Yeah.
Kenny, final
Well,
answer.
I'm staying with 2.8
2.8 million.
because I'm smart.
Ready?
It's even more than I said.
600 million.
Jesus. What?
Well, there's no moral and ethical integrity.
Wow.
Target Corporation projects that it will lose $600 million this year to shoplifting. We know we're not alone across retail and seeing a trend that I think has gotten increasingly worse over the last 12 to 18 months, said CEO Brian Cornell. Retail stores are not nonprofits, so these massive losses will only add to the prices honest people pay at the checkout counters. Shoplifting on this massive scale only adds to inflation. The CEO of the Rite Aid drugstore chain recently said the problem was particularly acute in New York City.
No.
Drugstore cowboys walk in and out of their stores with impunity. A single store in Manhattan was losing $100,000 a month to shoplifting, but they came up with a solution. They closed the store.
You know, when you
That's
were
what's
saying
gonna
that,
happen.
I was going to predict that this is going to result in the end of retail because people are just going to say, this is not worth it.
I don't need to tell the story again, but I witnessed it firsthand. But the gal went in and took all the makeup stuff.
That just happened at the Walgreens in Highland Park as well in the last 2 days. My wife informed me.
Really? Was
Yeah.
she there at the time?
She wasn't there, but she heard a report or saw
Well,
something.
isn't that a shame? Because exactly what's going to happen is now the honest mom dragging the 3 kids in there because she's got to get some Pampers or something, she's going to pay more. Mm-hmm. And she has to. Target has to do that. What are they supposed to do? Eat the $600 million?
Within the last month, I'm not going to name the store I was at, guy had a complete shopping cart full of stuff, went to the self-checkout, and just kept going. Mm-hmm. And I watched him going, you've got to be... They're so bold. It's comical.
Well, we've all seen the video of the fellow in Frisco riding his bicycle into Walgreens.
Yep.
And loading up a plastic bag and then just riding his
Heading out.
bicycle back
Off
out.
into the sunset.
Mm-hmm. Joe, you celebrated the idea of hanging out with like-minded GLers at the town council. What you missed was your chance to tell them to pool their assets and buy you the mythical town of GL so you can be a real mayor and everybody is a GLer who shovels their sidewalks and there are no tall buildings and all council members will have a real impact on what goes on in Gumption County. P.S. I'm not shoveling snow today. I'm mowing my lawn. John in Arizona.
Wow.
Yeah, why don't you people buy me a town?
You people.
Yeah,
Come on.
you people. Gary wants more books on the Author's Corner. I think that's a great idea. I've been neglecting Author's Corner, and I have quite a bit of information to add to Author's Corner on the website. When can we do that, Chris?
Next week.
Uh-huh.
Are you the only one that gets to add
No,
stuff?
if you have recommendations or brief reviews or whatever, feel free.
Because my reading list is much more highbrow than your very pedestrian.
I'm sure it is. Penthouse Forum.
Couldn't believe my luck.
Do Rookie and I get to add?
Absolutely.
Reading
Well,
material?
no, you don't, because neither of you read.
You know what? I did start a book when I went to the Dominican.
Did you really?
I did.
What book? Oh, this ought to be good.
I don't even know if I should tell you.
Oh, no.
I brought I Ain't Got Time to Bleed. I'm not joking.
How
I got
far?
through page 9.
Oh,
9.
page 9. Oh, you just gave me a
you can call
mini
my
heart
wife
attack.
and ask. I was sitting in the cabana, and I got to
Wait.
page
No,
9.
no.
Why would I ask?
Let me.
I don't care.
Let me. This was day 1 of the vacation, right?
Yeah.
And first full day, I should say.
Yep.
And here's what you did. Boy, you know what? I'm feeling good. Let's lay in the sun and read together.
Right.
It's about 10 in the morning or so.
The cabana did also provide some shade, so it was,
Comfortable.
yeah.
And you
very
made a nice
comfortable.
living.
Yes.
Joe, I hope you can read this out loud on the GL
Nope.
podcast. Hail the Flashlight Kid.
Hail you.
Joe, I've been thinking about how people are so hypersensitive on practically everything, especially since you spoke about the podcast a few days ago involving how they believe daylight savings time is considered racist. The sad part is that people believe in this. It makes no sense, and I joke about it with a random stranger. They will think I'm in the wrong and that I am racist. I'm old school, so I don't get what's considered sensitive and what isn't, and I can't keep up with the times. My hero of comedy is the late, great Robin Williams, who made fun of everyone and everything, including presidents in the past, all the way up to Obama, and people laughed at him more than criticized him for his comedy. But I think after he passed away, the humor of the country started to decline hard, and people are too judgmental and hypersensitive. I feel that even now comedy is at an all-time low, and we need help. I will do my part on my end to be a fearless entertainer without losing my job. Jay Hannaru, is this guy a stand-up? And I'll keep pushing back from everything slammed into my face like the cog railway of Pikes Peak without its brakes because it feels that painful.
Spell his last name, please.
Haneru. I think that the loss of the sense of humor in the country has been well zeroed in on, well stated, and a variety of reasons for it. The division in the country, I guess, would be most responsible, because one side's unwilling to admit the other side could possibly be funny. So it's a big headache. I've got more information, thanks to Kelsey, who did some of the work you guys didn't do. It's not good that I have to rely on GLers to do the
No,
work.
because it's
Joe,
accurate.
I got to tell you, it's not easy to find information. You're talking snow shoveling, right?
Yep.
There's not a lot of info out there about this.
Well,
Go ahead. What do you got?
I got a couple of emails to set this up.
Oh, hearsay.
No. I've gotten emails from people who. Well, here's Downing, for example. If the city of Minneapolis takes over responsibility for shoveling homeowners' sidewalks, it will result in the city putting in fewer sidewalks because of the maintenance cost.
Exactly.
Euphorians love sidewalks. They'll be windmilled. It's like cutting down trees to build a bike lane. Well, he's right. What is this? Okay. I have, Kelsey dug this up. I have the complete staff and the bios of everyone on Our Streets Minneapolis.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And in all seriousness, there's a lot to be gleaned from this. They're the group, for example, that would favor the taxpayers picking up the bill to shovel.
Yep.
The executive director is Ash Narayanan. Pronouns he, him.
Oh, we include that.
They
Okay.
all have. Now, does that mean he's normal? He, him? He's not mentally ill?
If you put your pronoun, that's abnormal.
Yeah.
Even though it's a normal pronoun.
That's what I was going to say.
Ash Narayanan
Okay.
He, him.
is the executive director of Our Streets Minneapolis, a group we only learned about yesterday. Mm-hmm. He is a nationally recognized expert on building more just, sustainable, and resilient transportation infrastructure.
We don't know that.
Whenever I hear resilient transportation, I think of a rubber train car. You know, you can stretch it out and it goes right back
Resilient.
together. It's resilient. He represents Minneapolis on Metropolitan Council's Transportation Advisory Board. He was appointed to Minnesota Department of Transportation's Sustainable Transportation Advisory Committee and co-chairs its VMT reduction work group. I don't know what
I don't know what that
VMT
is.
means.
Let's look it up.
Ash has authored or co-authored numerous reports, including The Road to Clean Transportation, a bold, broad strategy to cut pollution and reduce carbon emissions in the Midwest, and Arrive Together, Transportation Access and Equity in Wisconsin. He authored the transportation section of the City of St. Paul's Climate Action Plan. All right, now just stop right there. Let's just stop with the executive director. Might be a fine fellow. How you doing? Might be a fun guy to have a beer with. I have no idea.
I doubt it.
But, okay, let's just stick to St. Paul for a minute. He authored whatever the city of St. Paul will ultimately try to enforce regarding transportation as it pertains to a climate action plan. He's unelected. He's unknown. And if you aren't pushing back and paying attention, you might find within a year, 2 or 3 years, some Orwellian dynamics thrown at you about when you can drive, why you can drive, how you can drive. And that will come to you from a guy named Ash Narayanan, who you don't know and I don't know, who authored the transportation section of the City of St. Paul's Climate Action Plan.
St. Paul now? You're talking St. Paul here?
He authored that part of it, yeah.
Oh. So this Our Streets thing is
He's
from-
the executive director of Our Streets, but he must have had a little downtime because he was able to author the
Freelancing.
transportation
Maybe it's
section.
almost like a part-time gig.
Yeah.
He's doing that on the side.
No, John said yesterday that they make $67.5, the executive director.
Right, but he's with Our Streets Minneapolis.
You know what? $67.5, by the way, can go a long way. If you don't have a family,
Right.
If
you're
you live
not
in your
married,
car,
you don't
yeah.
own a car,
Right.
Right.
you know.
Sleep in a tent
Yeah.
in a park.
Haley Feudel, Operations and Development Director. Pronouns, he, sure. He, her.
Oh.
Haley comes to Our Streets, Minneapolis, after working, walking, and biking in multiple cities across the East Coast and Mid-Atlantic. Her past work has focused on creating sustainable solutions to existing products and infrastructure, from Maine lobster to cleaning supplies. Haley's favorite pastime is taking advantage of every sidewalk, bike path, bus, and train available to get her to her destination. That's her hobby.
All right. Side note: VMT is vehicle miles traveled. They have a vehicle miles traveled reduction mode shift
Wait a
study.
minute, Rook. Let's go back. He, Ashwat Narayanan, the executive director of Our Streets Minneapolis, represents Minneapolis on the Metropolitan Council's Transportation Advisory Board. He was appointed to Minnesota Department of Transportation's Sustainable Transportation Advisory Committee and co-chairs its VMT Reduction Work Group. And we're now learning that means vehicle miles traveled,
Yes.
in which these people wish on our behalf for fewer miles to be traveled.
Yes, their study goals are provide background to eventual VMT and emissions goal setting, estimate the maximum mode shift possible given existing land use patterns and travel needs, effectively use a wealth of real-world data to understand scope of reasonable change while avoiding uncertainty of long-range forecast models, identify markets where mode shift has the greatest potential, and finally develop open-source reproducible tools that will allow the study to be repeated with newer data when available.
Okay, another thought just logged into my head. Is it any wonder, with these kinds of people having such an influence on, let's just call it city governments, is it any wonder we came upon what we came upon Wednesday night on Snelling in Montreal, where people could not negotiate the intersection to take a right turn because of untreated ice? Is it reasonable to say?
Wow.
Is it reasonable to say that the basics of life as we know it are the nuts and bolts of running a city, and the people in charge are uninterested in the nuts and bolts?
100%.
They're interested in the tinsel and the shiny objects, and they're interested in what a guy like Ashwat Narayanan tells them.
They're putting paint on a crack house is what they're doing.
In the meantime, yesterday coming in, I meant to tell you, I watched a BMW Mini just slide right through a red light at Fairview and Ford Parkway.
Never mind
Not
that.
a shot to stop.
Never mind that.
Never mind that the person didn't know how to drive either. But
I had a question yesterday when you guys were talking about this. How much of this behavior is related to, one, bad tires, number two, bad driving?
the Mini going through the red light, I'm not going to blame tires, but I think it was a she. And I think the concept of pumping the brakes was foreign to her.
Yeah, she came in too hot, and then she laid on the brakes and
hit
stayed
the
on
brakes
them,
and just kept sailing.
Yeah, and stayed on the brakes. It's bad driving.
And kind of gave a wave to both directions as though, please don't hit me.
My bad.
Okay, you got Ashwat Narayanan, Executive Director. We got Haley Feudal, Operations and Development Director. We have Jose Antonio Zayas-Caban. We met yesterday, Advocacy Director. Pronouns are he and him. And we learned about him yesterday. He's working on developing reparative justice campaigns across the U.S. Across the Twin Cities. What does that have to do with the street? He is also serving as co-convener and advisory board member in a climate and mobility justice campaign that aims to increase multimodal transportation and reduce vehicles mile traveled and improve equitable access to transportation infrastructure across the state. In addition, he's got a long one here. He's a performing artist.
Sure.
And
sounds like it.
He's from Puerto Rico. And he's got a website where you can go learn about his music. I'll be damned if I'm going to promote
Isn't he
him.
playing the tuba?
No, that's a different
Okay.
guy. You have Ember Rasmussen. And she's a they, them.
Okay.
Yep.
Hi.
You want to see that? That's a they, them.
There we go.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's an imperfect sign.
Ember is community development and events manager.
All right.
Ember is a creative event manager and theater artist. They bleep you.
Wait, they is
She has previous experience in nonprofit development and community events, restaurant management, and theater direction. When not bringing phallus together, folks.
Didn't
hang on. If her pronoun is they, is she a big gal?
No. Here, look it. It's a new way to spell folks. When not bringing folks together, FOLX. What in God's name is happening to us?
So is that word?
Go folks
Wait,
yourself.
where's the X and the K? Oh, they're on
K.
opposite sides of the keyboard, so it's not a typo.
FOLX, folks.
You know, Ember, I believe, did own a chain of restaurants.
She did. When not bringing folks together at live events, Emmer loves to garden, explore Minnesota's beautiful outdoor spaces, whip up tasty vegan food, well, of course, and create or experience art. Okay.
What does folks
Ember,
mean?
you're a she. I'm not calling you a they, them.
Folks, a variation of the word folks, conventionally
I
spelled,
gathered that.
is meant to be a gender-neutral way to refer to members of a signal identity in the LGBTQ community. It's very woke. It's ultra woke.
People, Minneapolis, you can laugh and you can say it'll never get to me, but
It's coming.
one of these days you're going to be pulling your Lexus out of your garage over there along Minnehaha Creek, and somebody like Ember Rasmussen's going to be there to tell you you've already exceeded your vehicle miles driven.
Or are we missing the larger point? If you can't, maybe all of the snow buildup and slush and ice, it's being left on purpose so the carjackers can't come after you.
That's it.
It's slowing them down.
Are you done? Because when you're done, I'm going to push back against you.
Ken, 13 pages of the staff.
We'll be here. I'll push back against you come February.
We're doing a Saturday podcast as well.
All right, we'll be back.
But first, you had asked about the slush buster.
I did.
That's the invention of Dave Pounds right here in Burnsville, Minnesota. Dave was getting so tired of all of the slush and the buildup, damaging his garage floor, rusting the cars, and the old broomstick and boot that was used to remove the slush wasn't cutting it anymore. So, voila! The Slush Buster was designed, Viola, and assembled in Rogers, Minnesota. It's the only device on the market specially designed to remove that slush. I got a great email from Mark. Joe, you're buying yours today.
I seriously am. I'm going that way.
Mark sent me this email yesterday. Hey, Reeves, stopped at the Fratelloni's Hardware in Eden Prairie Wednesday afternoon to get my Slush Buster. I was immediately met by a friendly employee who had no idea what I was talking about. We went to automotive, and I went to the shovel aisle. We couldn't find it. Then I turned around, and there it was, right there on an end cap. It works really well, and I'm going to enjoy this new tool all winter. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for going to Fratelloni's and purchasing your Slush Buster. It's available at all 21 Fratelloni's Hardware locations. It's also available online at Amazon and at the Wellna Ace Hardware in Robbinsdale as well. So you can also order yours online at slushbuster.us. That's slushbuster.us. Let them know you heard about it here on the GL Podcast.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Spiral Light Candles is a Garage Logic company. The Nelson family has done a wonderful job of putting together candles, manufacturing candles, and bringing them to the public. And you know what? They burn in a circular motion. Hence the name Spiral Light Candles. If you're burning boring candles, you can go anywhere and just get a 3-wick candle and light it, and it's just going to sit there and burn. Spiral candles, you're going to light that candle, and your guests are going to go, wow, that's really neat. Spiral Light Candle? Yeah, where do you get them? SpiralLightCandles.com. I don't even have a telephone number for you to give. I have a website. There are many different colors, there are many different scents, and there are many different sizes to choose from. All you have to do is go to the website. We saw the Nelsons the other day at the a town hall meeting, and they're just great people. They're wonderful people, and they're advertising on Garage Logic because they choose wisely. They're not in every single store. You can't buy them everywhere. There's certain locations, like Tattersall, they've got the brandy old-fashioned scent, and it smells really good. Mini donuts, yep. Cylinder Index, yep. Just go to the website and pick. SpiralLightCandles.com. For your hostess gifts, I got you covered. SpiralLightCandles.com.
Kenny, did you want the floor, or you want me to keep it
Maybe
going?
saying pushing back against you is too strong of a statement. I'm not so much pushing back as I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this particular issue. Here, let's go to our streets, and they put an update out here November 7th. You probably read from this yesterday when I wasn't paying attention. But there's a couple of really interesting facts in here. In the last 6 winters alone, there have been over 30,000 submitted complaints of uncleared sidewalks. And so I saw that and I go, wait a minute, 30,000, 6 years. That's 5,000 a year. And then I looked up the population of Minneapolis, 425,000, a little bit over. We just did the math. So 1.2% of the population has complained about unshoveled sidewalks, right?
Right.
So keep that in mind. Then I delved further into their plan, and I started looking at the maps. They have a map that they want. It's called the Pedestrian Priority Network. Mm-hmm. And it looks like when you, and the streets are highlighted, it looks like they've highlighted the emergency snow routes. So it's not every street and not every avenue. For instance, in my old neighborhood, it's 38th Street. It's Cedar Avenue, it's Bloomington Avenue, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not every street.
And they're advocating what for those streets?
That these are the streets that the city should take under their wing, and they should plow these much like they do the snow emergency street routes, okay?
Right.
And then I realized our streets BS, this is just a lobbying group. And they say in their update, hold on, I got to go back to it. Disappointingly, Mayor Fry, Public Works Director Anderson Kelleher, and City Council members continue to ignore this issue. Instead of piloting this thing, what they want to do is fine people more, which is what they've been doing in years past. And then the city comes out and shovels it. And this is just a lobbying group. They have no power. Okay, hold on. I know where you're going here. And I think we should be concerned about this, and I think we should keep our eye on this, but I don't think it's something we should worry about now because the city is not down with this. $6 million is what they want. That's a lot of money. Now, my question to them is, the day after the riots, you know what I discovered? I went down to Lake Street with garbage bags and shovels and brooms and anything I could throw in the truck to help clean up. When something needs to be done, people volunteer. And they don't sign up to volunteer. They just go out and do it. If these people spent more time going out and finding people to help, sign up to our group. When it snows, we go out and shovel. Pick a route. It's much like when you're driving the rural areas and you see garbage, these little signs, this stretch of roadway is garbage is picked up by the Boy Scouts, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Why don't they focus on that? And then my second point is...
Is this your last point?
Yeah, where the hell are the lobbying groups for the like-minded GL people, the people that have the GL mindset? How come we're not out there doing crap like this?
Well, let me answer that one first.
Go ahead.
How would you even construct a lobbying group to say we want to shovel our own sidewalks?
You know what GLers would do? GLers would say, wait a minute, I'll help out.
Yeah.
I'll help out. I'll bring my snowblower over to Cedar and do between 39th and 38th. I can do that.
Let me pick apart your so-called pushing back. I'll push back against you ideologically. Number one, you're citing some material from November 7th.
Right, yep.
Well, between November 7th and yesterday, they certainly had a willing Star Tribune print.
Really?
A significant... weren't you paying attention yesterday?
I didn't see
You
it
were
in the
here.
paper. Oh.
Jesus, we did the whole thing, and you were sitting right
I
here.
told you I wasn't paying attention.
Which is, in this case, not funny. The
Bring
Star
it.
Tribune had a whole thing in which the Robin Wansley, for example,
Yeah,
a city
okay,
councilwoman,
right.
found it entirely within reason ideologically that this would only cost $6 million. Then also we found a citizen out shoveling her sidewalk who said, I think it's a good idea that the city take it over.
I did rewatch that.
So
and read that.
ideologically, you're being driven by people who think nothing of putting this burden on the government so other people can pay for it. I'm reading the biographies of the members of this group for this exact reason.
Where's Fry on this?
The little guy said yesterday that he doesn't know where he is. He might be willing to play along because he thinks seasonal barriers create safety problems for the residents of Minneapolis. You're dealing here with a complete ideological overview of the city that has nothing to do with common sense. Nothing.
We need somebody to propose to just the old system could work if they were more, I don't know, active, motivated. What's the word?
It does work. You just said it works. 1.2% of the population on an annual basis might complain about an unshoveled sidewalk. The system is working. People shovel their own sidewalks. What we're dealing with is we have a group in place on this occasion called Our Streets Minneapolis, and we're discovering who are they? What do they want? What are they up to?
Well, they're just a lobbying group.
Well, just a lobbying group that finds ideological brothers and sisters who've been elected. So here they are, Ashwat Narayanan, the executive director, Haley Foydale, operations and development director, Jose Antonio Zayas-Caban, advocacy director, Ember Rasmussen, they, them, community development and events manager. Now we get down to Alex Burns, transportation policy coordinator, pronouns he, him. Alex joins the team, bringing his experience as a climate and environmental justice organizer and activist, which means nothing.
Right.
He's worked as a national park ranger, that would have been cool, on local and state campaigns, and as an outreach specialist at a sustainable transportation nonprofit. That means nothing. In his free time, Alex enjoys hiking, biking, and feeding earthworms to his pet salamander, Smokey.
No way.
No. You totally made that up.
I did not
His
make
name
that
isn't
up.
Smokey. His name
I
isn't
did not
Smokey.
make that up.
I'm willing to bet that every single person on your list is basically the same person with different skin. I mean, seriously, you could go down the list, and
I'm not done.
They're all 100% alike. So it's not doing us as GLers any good. We've got to go to those two city council members and the mayor and make one hell of a lot of noise.
This does GLers good. I'm trying to tell you what we're up against. And this is true
We know what
everywhere
we're up
in the
against.
country.
Commies.
Closer you get to the country's tallest
These
building.
unqualified commies.
Oh, we go to Raquel City-Wagner, Community Engagement Specialist.
We're arguing even though we agree.
Right.
Right.
Pronouns,
the
she,
ball
her.
rolling.
Raquel is a disability services regional manager, political and community organizer, and musician based in Minneapolis. She has spent thousands of hours doing field work for various political campaigns in multiple states and has used those organizing skills to build networks of mutual aid and support for her community. She is passionate about work that betters the lives of her neighbors in real and meaningful ways. Okay. Then we get down to Allie Soller, organizer, pronouns she, her. As a longtime Minneapolis resident who loves data, she is thrilled at the opportunity to use her skill set built in her 20-year career in data and retail management to advocate for and implement projects that improve the community around her. She can typically be found in her home on the north side with more cats than seem feasible.
Whoa.
All right.
You're not making that up either, are you?
No. Sam Peterson, pronoun she, her. The picture appears to be of a female. Sam is she's an organizer. Sam is originally from a small town in Wisconsin and relocated to the Twin Cities for her undergraduate education at the U of M. She is currently an MSN candidate at the University of St. Thomas, master's in social something, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Outside of her studies, she really enjoys biking with her partner, ballroom dancing, and attending free events around the country. Around the area. Okay. She is truly excited to help make the Twin Cities more navigable and accessible as a person who has explored the city through biking, walking, transit, and driving throughout her time here. All right. Here's Greg Hindy. He's an organizer. Pronouns he, him. In college, Greg studied cognitive science, art, and creative writing, and he continues to pretend to be a college student in his free time. When not studying or making amateur art, he has work jobs that allow him to get outside and learn something new about the community. You might see Greg, his partner Nicole, and their 2 dogs, Pablo and Parka, exploring Minneapolis on Mocha Dick, their yellow and orange tandem
what?
Mocha
What?
Dick. That's the
You know
name
what
of their
that
bike.
means?
It's a new coffee flavor.
It's their yellow and orange
we need to
tandem
dump
bike
that?
and vehicle of choice for reimagining the possibilities of the urban landscape. Riley Slavics, organizer, pronouns he and him. Riley is a resident of the East Isles neighborhood and loves to traverse the city on foot and bike. He finds joy in seeing how streets can connect communities and wants to be a part of helping that become more of a reality in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Exploring and understanding different areas of the city is a favorite pastime for this Minneapolitan. All right. Honest to God, how many of these people are there? It's quite
I'm
a-
sending
I think
them I'm sending them a nasty comment, Such. There's a place where you can comment on their
Yeah.
website.
Eric Forsty, organizer, pronouns he, him. Eric has been working as a canvasser since Working America, community affiliate of the AFL-CIO, first hired him in 2019. Before then, he has worked as a software engineer and a substitute teacher. Since then, he volunteered extensively for various campaigns in the Minneapolis city election and was hired by Workers Cooperative, the People's Canvas, for the final month of the election. He canvassed extensively for Jeremiah Ellison and Robin Wansley, who was in favor of what these people want to do, both of whom won election by very slim margins. He hails from Cincinnati, but has spent his entire adult life moving back and forth between the Bay Area and Minneapolis, returning here most recently for good, he said, in 2009. After spending some years in Harrison and Longfellow, he is delighted to have recently moved back to Minneapolis' central neighborhood, a few blocks from Powderhorn Park. And I think we're coming to the end. Oh, God, we're not. Nick Hutchinson, organizer, pronouns he and him. Nick has been a cycling and transit advocate for 20-plus years. He is a member of the Whittier Alliance Board of Directors and organizes a monthly free sale in Whittier Park. Isn't that an oxymoron? Free sale?
Yeah.
All right. He is also an amateur musician, artist, and trivia whiz, and sometimes host.
I wonder what kind of trivia he's up
Doesn't
to.
trivia.
have to do with anything.
Joe loves getting around Minneapolis by bicycle, foot, or transit. You'll note that not one person has said they love to get around by car.
Nope.
This is an anti-car
Yeah.
advocacy group.
Community.
Joe loves getting around Minneapolis by foot or transit, bicycle. He spends a lot of time thinking about government power and how that power is used and misused
What a fun existence
in the
that
name
is.
of making our community safer. Joe wants our community to build power for better infrastructure for people, for mitigating climate change, and against ineffective, punitive, discriminatory enforcement strategies. Joe lives on the West Bank and works downtown. All right. Nina Clark, vice president.
Oh, boy.
Now we're getting up there, huh? Let's go.
Pronoun she, her.
Okay.
Nina has worked for over 25 years in cultural organizations, which has led her to position today as a program officer making grants to arts and cultural organizations. Her professional interests lie in artist collaboration, community engagement, organizational development, and dynamic public offerings. She is passionate about the possibilities around marrying community needs, broad social issues, and cultural offerings. Nina has a Bachelor of Arts in History from Macalester College
Oh, okay.
and her Master's of Professional Studies in Arts and Cultural Leadership at the University of Minnesota. She was a founding member of the Cycling Museum of Minnesota and has volunteered with several other Minnesota nonprofits. During her free time, the weather usually decides for her whether she'll be on her bike or at her sewing machine.
Oh.
Okay, let me stop right there. We have more to go through, and we're going to. But there's another common thread. These are all products of the failed academy.
Well, of course.
And they all have degrees that render them unemployable.
Wow.
You
I
don't
have
want,
to
you know we're going to die.
Okay.
And when you die, you got stuff.
Today?
Hell,
Not
the
today.
way we're going, it could be today.
Why not?
Could be today.
If you do, though, you better have your stuff in order.
Do I have time then to do it during the show?
Right.
Eckberg Lammers have been preparing estate plans and wills for more than 70 years. I know it's tricky to talk about. Yeah, but we're all going to pass on, and when we do, you leave stuff behind, and you want your family to be able to handle that smoothly. Most principally, you want it to stay out of the courts.
Right.
Eckberg Lammers will arrange that. And if you don't think you need it, think again, because everybody has something, and you don't want to leave your family in a lurch. They also do a lot of property work. You got some property transfers within the family.
Yep.
Those can become a little hairy.
Okay.
They'll take care of that.
Let's do
they
it.
They'll be able to put a plan in place for your family that keeps the courts out of your life. The estate planning and do this now. Don't wait. You got to do it. You got to have it. Because you know what? No, not the hour or the time.
No,
or the
not the
day
hour.
or whatever that saying is. The estate planning team at Eckberg Lammers can help you make sure your estate will transition smoothly the way you want. Make an appointment with Eckberg Lammers and take care of this. I don't care how old you are. Take care of this. 651-439-2878. You'll either thank me or you thank them.
Right.
Probably them. Or visit Eckberg Lammers at eckberglammers.com/will.
This guy wears many hats, just not indoors. Joe Souchere.
I try not to tell you how to live your life. That's Joe's job. But I was serious yesterday, 100%. As serious as a heart attack when I said the first day of every month is Seafoam Day. So if you missed it yesterday, stop into your favorite store and pick up a can of Seafoam when you're getting your other stuff, your loaf of white bread and your ketchup and whatever. Because the Seafoam, once a month, that's really going to help your vehicle no matter how old it is. Brand new, 10 years old, 200,000 miles, it doesn't matter. It keeps all those parts moving and happy. It stabilizes the fuel. It preserves ignition vapors. It's just good medicine for your car. The pitch should be for Seafoam. Works smarter, not harder. Very easy to find, like I said, convenience stores, auto parts stores, any Knack hardware store in the land, even big box stores. They've got it by the crate, by the pallet. A local company, a global reach, and a true miracle in a world of bad gas. Seafoam.
All right, we're up to number 14, the 14th staff member
It's like the commandments.
of Our Streets Minneapolis, and she is Alyssa Schuffman, treasurer, pronoun she, her. Alyssa is a multimodal commuter. Let me stop right there.
What does that mean?
That's nothing that needs to be on a resume.
That's true.
You know,
No,
you want to
that's-
go get a job, and
No,
do you
not
think
for
the
us.
people who hiring you gives a bleep how you got there?
Yeah. In the case of Our Streets, you better believe they care.
Well, that's true.
It shows their true meaning then.
Alyssa is a multimodal commuter and Midtown Phillips resident who loves exploring her community on foot, bike, bus, and train. When Alyssa shifted the way she got around, it changed the way she related to her body and her community. As an abolitionist, what does that mean, I wonder? Isn't that a Civil War term?
Yeah.
Year-round bicyclist and person who has been injured by a driver while on her bike, she cares deeply about making Minneapolis a better place for people walking, rolling, and bicycling.
So she really hates cars.
Alyssa brings a decade of experience in the nonprofit sector to her service on the board and also serves on the City of Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee. We
I've
could look
blocked
that
them on
up and do
Twitter.
the same thing we're doing today.
Abolitionist, a person who favors the abolition of a practice or institution, especially capital punishment or formerly slavery.
Well, I think I'm an abolitionist then.
I think I am as well.
Was it in reference to automobiles?
I think she wants to abolish
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. Alyssa brings a decade of experience in the nonprofit sector to her service on the board and also serves on the City of Minneapolis Bicycle Advisory Committee. Outside of transportation work, she loves to ferment,
What?
play tabletop RPGs. What is that?
I don't know.
What tabletop?
Ferment what?
I don't know. She just likes to ferment stuff.
Is she talking about herself? So she doesn't take a shower for months at a time?
Gross.
Ooh, girl, stinky.
Somebody fermenting around here.
You rotten.
She loves to ferment, play tabletop RPGs, and write speculative fiction.
Isn't an RPG a rocket? Rocket-powered grenade.
Yes.
Isn't that what that is?
Yes.
Yes.
Alyssa reads about 100 books a year and is always looking for recommendations. Okay, I've got one for you. Garage Logic, the companion guide to life in the radio town.
She wouldn't make it through the first chapter.
What are the best tabletop RPGs for beginners?
What is that? Does they say?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
If you thought that a beginner in the world of role-playing games,
Role-playing games.
va va voom.
Like you did when you were on vacation, Such.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Was she's 14?
Doing a little missionary work
Yeah, let's go to 15.
on vacation. Remember that?
Let's go to number 15. Samya Jain. She doesn't even have we're down to the staff members who don't even have titles.
Okay.
It's just pronouns.
They're also rans.
She, her.
Okay.
Samya has been an advocate for active transportation because that's the best kind.
Yeah.
I don't
you
like
hate
inactive.
transportation, just stay still.
If
Yes,
it's
stagnant.
Then
inactive,
you don't get anywhere.
yeah,
Stagnant
stagnant transportation does
Doesn't
nothing
work,
for
does
me.
it?
Nothing.
So, Samya has been an advocate for active transportation and VMT reduction,
Okay.
vehicle miles traveled.
We know that now.
Because she doesn't have to worry about getting the kids to school or getting them to a soccer game in Woodbury.
Wait a
Hell
minute.
no.
Hey. VMT, how do you know that?
You looked it up.
Thank you. So, Kelsey and all you other minion BSers out there, cut the crap. I have value today.
Samya has been an advocate for active transportation and VMT reduction for a while now. At her day job at State Smart Transportation Initiative, she helps state departments of transportation and local governments make greener mobility investments.
Oh, my God.
Samya holds a degree in Master of Urban Planning from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and comes to our Streets Minneapolis with a diverse background in transportation planning and community engagement. In other words, she's the 15th member of the staff who actually doesn't really work.
Unreal.
These aren't jobs.
Before you go to the next one, I apologize if I'm in a 25-minute delay here, but I now realize these are people to fear. Absolutely
That's what I've
to
been
fear.
telling you.
Because
He did apologize.
Because
for being
these
a
are the
delay.
people that have been pushing for all these GD bike lanes that have taken over our lives. And we haven't done anything about it except grouse and bitch. We haven't done nothing to push back.
We're not done with...
Where are the GLer lobbyists to push back against this BS?
We're not done with Samya. 2 years back, Samya made the decision of selling her car, of course, and relying completely on non-auto modes of travel. And I've noticed a change in the climate since she did this.
Yeah, it does feel a little.
In her 6 years of stay in the U.S., I don't know where she might be from, she has lived in 4 different Midwestern cities and loves to explore them on foot and through their transit network. She finally moved to Minneapolis in early 2020 and hopes to call it home for the foreseeable future, which is a euphemism until she gets another freeloader gig that's better than this one.
Right.
How did she get here, Joe? Did she?
She walked.
She loaded up her gear in a
She
knapsack.
got here on active transportation.
Right. Then turned against it.
See, the folks in the country, when we hear people like this don't have cars, we're like, woohoo, she's not coming out here.
She believes that being able to work towards improving active traveling, again, active traveling is the best way,
Right.
right?
R-
Because that means you're not standing still.
Right.
She believes in improving active traveling in Minneapolis isn't just part of her professional goals, what but would be extremely fulfilling personally. All right. Number 16, Clara Jung, Jung, pronouns she, her. Clara is a Whittier resident who can frequently be found walking or rollerblading around her neighborhood on the hunt for good food.
Oh, where do you hunt for good food? The trash?
After
Arby's.
many years commuting in the Twin Cities and Seoul without a car, that would be SEOUL, Clara adopted the belief that cities that encourage active transportation and safe streets for pedestrians are achievable, more equitable for our neighbors, and better for the climate. Professionally, Clara works in philanthropy and has experience raising money for higher education institutions, social services, public health, and homelessness prevention. Outside of work, she enjoys playing clarinet and helping folks, and it's spelled correctly there, helping folks get out the vote and delivering cookies to her neighbors.
Oh, freshly baked?
Well, I like cookies.
Number 17, Elise Chow.
Jeez. Are you going to do the whole list?
I
There's
have
only
to now,
17
'cause
more.
I'm so enamored by this I can't see straight.
Don't interrupt him. He's rolling.
Yeah.
Elise Chow, pronoun she, her. Elise is a recent graduate of Washington University in St. Louis and has previously worked as the finance director of a student-run nonprofit organization in St. Louis. The intersection between sustainability and equity is something that she is very passionate about. In her free time, Elise loves to run around the lakes and get outdoors as much as possible.
Okay.
So do I.
Me too.
Yeah. Number 18, Kelly Goldthorpe. She, her. Kelly grew up playing in the streets with her neighborhood friends from an early age. These formative experiences shaped her views, and as an adult, she enthusiastically embraces the idea that streets are for people, not just cars.
Oh.
Well, she's wrong. She hopes to bring her passion for safe, walkable neighborhoods to the Our Streets board. An avid biker, Kelly has made cycling a big part of her life for the past decade. Previously working in a bike share in Chicago, teaching learn-to-ride classes in New York City, and now riding around the Twin Cities. She's never worked a day in her life. According to this. Maybe she has, but not according to this. That's it. She was the last one on the list. The board meets on the first Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. If you're interested in more information about the board, contact us at info@ourstreetsminneapolis.org.
I bet those are precious
it
meetings.
just occurred to me, even if these people had regular jobs, normal jobs, where they clock in on every day, they wouldn't put it on this resume because they're ashamed of it.
These are 18 people who have considerably more clout in the city of Minneapolis that somebody paying $30,000 a year in property taxes has.
Yeah.
Considerably more clout.
Wow.
Or think about a business owner that's paying. Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling
laughable.
you, there needs to be a group to oppose this group.
I just was going to touch on that. So what you're proposing is a group called Mind Your Own Business,
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. It has 18 staff members, and the resumes of everyone on it would include a real job
Yeah.
and what kind of car they own.
Yeah.
And no pronouns.
And this is going to make us come off as hating people that can't get around with ease in the winter.
I don't think we've said that.
The entire time that I lived in Minneapolis, I shoveled and snowblowed other people's walks and driveways because they weren't able to.
Of course you did.
And that's my
'Cause that's
point.
GL.
That's what GLers do.
It's not this BS.
No. I mean, if the whole sidewalk has been done except for one patch in front of one house, me and the other GLers on the block are racing to that patch with our snowblowers to see who gets there first. That's what we do.
And I know you said earlier you weren't worried about this group, but
No,
then you
I've changed my
turned
mind.
yourself
Yeah,
around.
no, you're right. We need to fear this group.
Well, because they already have the ear of
Yeah,
the city council.
Right?
those two meatheads.
Did
yeah.
you catch the commonality in all of those resumes, though?
Yeah, they like to explore. You know why? They got a hell of a lot of free time.
They do. They do. With the exception of the one guy that mentioned his wife and his dogs,
Yep.
there was no mention of
There's no
families.
mention of children.
Correct.
No one has children.
It'd be fun to know how many of them are renters.
I'm going to
all-
bet all
all
of them.
18.
Yep, I'm going to bet all of them.
The house.
That would
The
be
house.
my guess. That would be my guess.
So their sidewalks are already being taken care of then by the landlord.
Right.
It's not in their worldview. I know this becomes a bit arcane, but shoveling the sidewalk, it's a traditional Midwestern task.
Yep.
In Nebraska, they say scoop the walk.
Whatever.
Yeah.
None of these people are involved in traditional tasks. As a traditional task might pertain to a life lived on behalf of your family, for example, your children, and your spouse. And I got to make sure her car has gas in it, and I better shovel the driveway, and on and on and on. None of that is. They don't lead that life. No.
Nope.
The life of when you have I remember this as a child, and I did this as a parent. The shoveling experience. When you're trying to keep up, when there's 6 inches already, it's still coming down.
I've been there
You're
many
out there with the
times.
kids.
Yeah.
It's fun and festive. And
Forget kids. Kids are not part of their dynamic either. No, I'm not saying for all I know, they love children. That's neither here nor there. But I bet you $1 none of these people intend to have any.
I wouldn't take that bet
Well, I hope you're right.
because you're right on. That's
And if they accidentally do, they rush off and, get the hook.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. There's a few of them I can tell you that aren't going to have any. If you know what I'm saying.
got it.
I think I do.
Yeah.
This has been kind of irritating me since the subject was brought up.
This topic? Yeah,
No,
me too.
A callback, Ruck, to the beginning of the show.
You.
I Ain't Got Time to Bleed was released in June of 1999.
Yep.
She's been sitting on the bookshelf for a while.
What compelled you to wait? You worked with the guy for a while.
What are the other 3 books?
What,
Yeah,
what
they're-
compelled
they're-
you 23 years in the making of, you know what? Hot damn, it's time to crack that baby open.
Let's, you know what? Truth be told, I was looking for a little insight for a potential future
Podcast?
interaction or podcast
Yeah.
that was the reason that I grabbed it.
Are you
And
sure
we
you weren't
shut her
just
down at 9? Yeah.
Got
it.
you weren't
I
just
got it.
Were you just looking for mentions of you in the book?
Yeah. And when people here tend to write books, I generally don't get mentioned at all.
Can we talk about a cliche for a moment?
Yes.
Does it occur to these people, well, maybe to be fair, maybe they look at me and think I'm a cliche.
Oh, of course they do.
You know, an old white
Yeah.
capitalist.
The old curmudgeon, the same old-
absolutely. Isn't
Yelling,
that
get off my lawn to
Right.
people.
isn't that essentially what the mayor of St. Paul said about you publicly?
Well, I don't know what he said. He said I'm not playing on the team or something. I don't know. But Ember Rasmussen, just to pick one, not to, she is the community development events manager. They, them. Okay. She got the cliche haircut. She's got the cliche pronouns. She's got the cliche interests: gardening, vegan food, going for a walk, creating experience. She's just a walking cliche. Ember, I love you. No offense against you. I just picked you. You can say the same thing about me, but I realize I'm a cliche. Do these people realize they're cliches?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
I don't think
I
so.
think they think they're making a difference.
I think they're aspiring to be just who they are.
Well, then maybe they have wonderful, comfortable lives. God knows they're not overworked.
Maybe.
They got to have stress-free lives. They don't do anything, and yet they'll wield great power.
It's amazing. It's amazing how this fail-safe has failed.
Well, you can put the picture of Sam Peterson's head on top of her body on this page.
These are the people also responsible for Open Streets, Minneapolis, where they close down, 4 or 5 blocks of the city to traffic for events.
This has come up before. This ideology has had its roots in the pedestrian movement, for example.
Right.
St. Paul went through the period where you'd grab a flag on your side of the street and put it in the barrel on the other side of the street to stop the traffic. And so it's been around a while. But in these 18, 19 people on the staff of our Streets Minneapolis, what you really find are people who believe or disdain the automobile to the point where they don't think the street should be for automobiles. They should be for bikers, rollers, walkers.
How do you get to that point?
I mean, they acknowledge the existence of the automobile, but they think that the streets are not principally for automobiles. Well, yes, they are.
Sidewalks are for people. Streets are for automobiles.
Yes, they are.
It's got to drive them crazy that not too many people ride their bicycles in the winter. Doesn't that? And just looking around and seeing the amount of automobiles and pickups and trucks and semis, that's got to really get their goat. And if that's the case, that makes me really happy.
Take a break, Reeves.
You sure?
Yeah.
You need a little time out?
Yeah.
The Canopy Group is an insurance agency that is unique by offering 16 carefully selected companies for home and auto insurance. And we're going to throw this holiday analogy at you. Would you be satisfied if the only dessert you could have this season was fruitcake? Not me, I wouldn't. That would be like having one agent representing one company. Meanwhile, your neighbor creates this dessert exchange with 40 family members. It's going to be great. You could have a fun family exchange with desserts like divinity, peanut brittle, fudge, cutouts, gingerbread, all of that good stuff. At the Canopy Group, we get that it is all about options. That's why our insurance agency offers 16 companies. In addition, we have 40 licensed elves, I think those are agents, working behind the scenes to assure you always to have the best coverage at the best price. Remember, our clients' average saving is over $800 per year. This holiday season, don't get stuck with just the fruitcake. Get options. Call 800-967-3389 or visit thecanopygroup.com today.
Yeah. Hey, Pat.
Yes, Joe.
Are you at U.S. Bank Stadium for the Prep Bowl?
Yes, sir.
Who won?
Why do you ask?
Well, you had a game go off at 10 a.m. That would have been Minnesota versus Springfield. I'm sorry, Minneota versus Springfield in Class 1A.
Yes, that game is complete.
Who won that game?
Yes.
That one is I wasn't here for that one, so let me check and see what the score. Let me ask Mike, hey, what happened in that first round of the Prep Bowl? They're going to get back to me.
The game underway right now is 2A. That's Barnesville and Chatfield.
Yes, knotted up at 0.
Okay, and then you'll be staying for Simley and Hutchinson.
Yes, Simley is Inver Grove Heights.
That's right.
Hutch is rural.
That's right. And then you have the topper tonight at 7 p.m. Undefeated Maple Grove 12-0 versus undefeated Rosemount 12-0.
The Fighting Irish is the squad I like.
That's the Rosemount squad.
Yes, it is.
I don't know what Maple Grove's team name is.
I think they're the Crimson.
The Crimson. Boy, you were right on top of that, Pat.
Thanks, Joe. That's my job. I know these things. If I don't know, I can't report it.
Royce, when is the last time these squads all played in a regular game? I've got to think it's been weeks.
It's only been 2 weeks,
Two,
Kenny.
I believe.
Yeah.
Just 2. Oh.
Yeah, the high school league, I have to take a couple of weeks off because they rest and relaxation and Thanksgiving.
Well, that's a puzzle to this day. The Vikings had a Thanksgiving night game And for some reason, that prohibited high schools from playing there on Friday and Saturday.
Apparently,
I don't get
yes.
it.
Yeah.
Do you get it, Pat?
I'm not sure why. There's not a whole lot of turnover in the field because they just leave it as the
It's a
the Vikings
football
home
field.
They don't switch it up.
That's right. It's a football field.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Everything else all right? How the Wild won?
Yeah, the Commie had a pretty good game last night.
Yes, he did.
Pretty soft. Biscuit in the basket, a couple of assists. They were fighting ready to get after those Edmonton Oilers, but man, that Connor McDavid is a hell of a player, isn't he?
Yeah, but last night the Commie was better.
Yes, he was. Yes.
And then you have the Jets coming in here to face the Vikings on Sunday.
I think our squad is going to take care of them fine.
You think so?
Not a problem.
The Jets are they're a handful this year.
They are, but right now, in true Viking fashion, they're peaking right now as opposed to the playoffs,
Right.
which is their custom.
Everything all right with the game of flaws?
No,
Uh-oh.
we had a shoveling incident.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Well, I went out there to clear the walk, opened up the garage door, and had to find where I left the shovel last season, and couldn't find the shovel.
Uh-huh.
And I went back in, waddled back in, and shouted to Katie, who was buying something online downstairs. I said, "Hey, DA, where's the shovel?" And she said that she had got rid of it last year with the intention of buying a new one.
Oh, boy.
Well, with all the online shopping she could have ordered a shovel 3 months ago, and
That's right.
she forgot.
Oh, boy.
I said, "What? How'd you forget the shovel?" And that maybe that was a bad icebreaker.
Yeah.
She's not talking to me.
Well, it wasn't really an icebreaker. It was see, an icebreaker is more
Yeah.
something that starts the conversation.
This pretty much ended
Kind
it.
of breaks the ice.
That's right. But you ended the conversation.
Yes, and there have been no further conversations executed.
I see.
Hey, Johnny Height. I got a question for Johnny Height.
He's not here on Fridays.
He's not?
No.
How does he get a 4-day work week, and we're all here 5 days a week?
It's 3. It's a 3-day work week. That's not my doing. I would prefer that he was here.
I want the Johnny Height retirement plan. He works less than Rookie. Rook, sorry the shot there, but that guy works less than you is what's happening here.
Royce, I did see that your colleague Chip Scoggins had sent out a tweet in which you retweeted a few hours ago. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for someone, here you go. Another book signing is going to be happening Monday, December 12th from 4 to 6 p.m. at Tavern 23 in Edina, Tales from the Minnesota Sports Beat.
All right.
I know that.
Isn't that Lou Nanny's place?
That is Louie's place, yes.
Yes, that's, Louis got a spot there. He's a pretty good spot. Great place to sell a book or two, yes. So,
And how come you did bring a book for Such,
I got it.
but you didn't bring a book for me or Rookie or Kenny or John?
well, as I mentioned before, and I apologize soundly to my my producer partner for almost 30 years now. Chip put the book together, and I neglected to mention the Rook at any point in time in the book, so I had to apologize. And when I signed a book, I did give Rook a book, and I signed it for him, and I said, even though I forgot you, Rook, you're unforgettable. What are you going to do? You made an impact, Rook. You made an impact on me.
Well, the other reason you haven't been giving books is because you'd have to pay for them.
Yes, the only thing, though, I run the risk of is being like you and having half a semi-truckload of unread Garage Logic books. I got sick of giving those out as Christmas presents for 3 years in a row.
Yeah. Well, we can't thank you enough for taking time out from your busy day at the.
You know what I've learned, Joe, over the years?
What?
we should not be in the book business.
That's right.
Let's leave that to Camp and Randy Wayne White.
That's right. I think you have a great point.
Yes, I do.
Yes. We'll stick to fiat stock.
Yeah, how's that? You still have yours, or did you let her go and buy crypto coin?
I know. I got my fiat stock.
Yeah, that you have a Pope riding for a fiat in 10 minutes, and you're telling everybody to buy stock.
What did he say?
Yep.
All right, Patrick, thank you.
Hey, it sounds like a good plan. I'm gonna go have lunch with my buddy here now. Okay.
All right, very good.
All right, Joey D.
Thank you.
Turn it up.
He's going to have lunch with Joey D, he said.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I think that'll be a fun football game tonight. Undefeated Maple Grove and undefeated Rosemount.
Maple Grove is becoming the new Eden Prairie in high school sports.
Well, you know Royce's theory.
What's that?
The farther out you get and still be called a suburb, the bigger the kids are.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you got these little kids in the urban area, and they're just not as nourished.
Because isn't Maple Grove aren't they a power in hockey too?
I have no idea.
I thought so.
I think so. I got a nice note from Lisa the Youper.
You know that they call Maple Grove the Crimson Tide, so just call them Deacon Blues.
All right. She said I can come up there and visit Stormy Cromer, the Stormy Cromer factory. Remember, we came up with my hat,
Oh, yeah.
the Stormy Cromer hat. And she said if you're ever in Ironwood during the week, you can tour the Stormy Cromer facility. It's pretty interesting. They have a store with cool things. I might get a Stormy Cromer for my Black Lab Violet. Signed Youper Lisa.
Okay.
She's up there with 80 inches of snow on the ground. Kelly writes, hey, I want a hat. I'm already a member. Also, I had so much fun at the town council meeting. It's my birthday next Wednesday. I'm a nurse and will not be earning any money over the holidays due to the strike. Can we buy a hat if you don't give me one? Can we get her a hat? She's going to be a striking nurse.
Is this Mancini's? Can I get you a cake?
Can I get you a cake? Can I get you a hat?
Can I get you a hat?
Tracy, I'm sorry, what's your name? Kelly, get a hold of me with your address. We'll see if we can get you a hat.
Have we
But
opened
that's
up?
because she's going on strike. Don't everybody else try to get a hat out of me.
Have we opened up a can of worms with the simple hat? Okay.
I got
This is
mine,
exactly
so I'm not saying Jack.
I gave Kenny my hat.
I gave
Yeah.
mine to.
And I'll probably end up giving mine to
I don't think I
Angie.
got one.
I gave mine to Mike Fratelloni.
Oh, wait.
yesterday.
No, isn't the new rule if you sign up today or yesterday, you get a hat?
You do.
Okay, so
Sign up
she already
today for
had-
the Garage Logic Town Council, and we'll get you a free
And then
Garage Logic
just-
stocking hat.
Make the current council members all upset with their torches and pitchforks.
Yeah. And apparently, if you want a free one, just email Joe.
Right.
When we come back,
Where are we going?
well, we're going
Where
to
are we going with this show?
We're
Let's
coming
steer it,
back with
Captain.
the scramble.
I don't want to be luffing here.
We're going to be coming back with a scramble, and among other things, I'm going to tell you the difference between Montana and Minnesota.
You know, you had mentioned a great spot to grab a bite to eat. How about over the weekend if you've got family in town, or maybe you want to take the family somewhere? 30 Bales Restaurant is your place. They do have the fantastic brunch that starts Saturday and Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Their happy hour is Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 5:30, and the lunch menu Tuesday through Friday is 11 to 3 p.m. Someone thought I was kidding. No, they do have short rib lasagna now on the menu. Short rib, Italian sausage rook, onions, carrots, garlic, red wine, diced tomatoes. Bing, bang, boom. Also, if you are a burger fan, their burgers at 30 Bales Restaurant are fantastic. It's the Scratch Kitchen right there in downtown Hopkins, right off 169. Can't be easier to get to, I'm telling you right now. They also have craft cocktails there, so if you want to impress, that's the place to go. Check out their entire menu.
I am right now. I'm online looking at their menu.
Get some takeout for the weekend. I think I might do that actually tomorrow.
Juicy Lucette Burger.
Yeah, the burgers
Holy
are
crap.
outstanding. And they also have, all sorts.
Hand-cut bacon mixed into the patty.
Have you never had the burgers?
I don't think I have.
You, my friend, are missing out.
Brussels sprouts. I bet they're delicious.
I love those.
I have had the Brussels sprouts from 30 Bales, and they are outstanding. So anyway, stop in, say hi to Todd and the entire crew. Please let them know that you heard about 30 Bales Restaurant right here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
dangerous.
I didn't know if that came out or not.
Yeah, we heard it.
It did. Yes.
Rise and shine. Let's go. Door is open. Why am I doing Patrick?
I don't know.
It's the scramble.
Scott Matura from Montana writes, listening to local Montana radio this morning, and I was pleased to hear what I would call a ray of hope. Sadly, not that long ago, this would not be a ray of hope, but rather simply how a state is governed. This morning, Montana Governor Gianforte was on the radio and talked about our state's surplus and what his and the current state legislature plan on doing with it. Update and expand state prisons, which are old and inadequate.
Okay.
Here, we just let the criminals back out on the streets.
Right.
Expand pay and staffing to increase snow plowing. No,
nice.
we just do it when we get around to it. Update and repair state roads and highways, particularly in rural Native American areas like out east and the Flathead. Assist companies with infrastructure in areas where we are building housing. Increase pay and hiring for law enforcement.
Okay.
The commies in Minneapolis just took $1 million out of the police budget. A rainy day fund for unforeseen circumstances so the state doesn't have to go back to the well again, that well being the taxpayer. There were other items, but you get the idea. Our governor isn't my favorite guy, and he has taken heat from the left for being wealthy. Well, he is wealthy, but he made his wealth founding and operating a company here in Bozeman that grew to 150 employees, and when he sold it, it was worth millions. Point being, he knows how budgets and payroll work. Our guy does not.
Right.
He's never done that. Stephen C. Anderson, the piano player,
Yeah.
he is proposing, and I think this would be fantastic, getting Height in here live,
Okay.
and then having those two do a Christmas jam for Christmas.
Good luck.
Why wouldn't Height come in and do that?
Okay.
I think
He's
that would be
listening
fun.
now.
And also,
If he
think he'd
doesn't,
love-
though,
I think he'd love it, actually.
actually, he would love it.
yeah, but if he can't come in, are we going to have to cancel Christmas?
No. And then Stephen C., get this, he's got the 6th Christmas back together with Stephen C.
Hold on one second, Joe. Hey, John, you're on the show, okay?
Oh,
Percent chance you'll come in and do the Stephen C. broadcast.
100%.
I'd be happy to come in.
What are you wrong with you, Reavers?
All right,
Of
that's
course
all I
you would do
wanted.
that.
See you later.
All right.
Bye.
I think he just got paid right there is what happened.
Write this down, GLers. Thursday, December 15, Stephen C. at the Cathedral of St. Paul, 7:30 p.m. This popular Christmas concert will open the doors to the historic Cathedral of St. Paul for a free concert for the community after a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic. There is no admission fee, but $10 free will donation will be greatly received to cover costs. Hell, it probably cost him a fortune to move his piano.
Right.
Because he plays his own. Multi-platinum recording artist and contemporary pianist Stephen C. He's going to have vocalists this year. He's going to have
really?
Nate Wilson on the violin, vocalist Jack Cassidy, Jillian Gubash and friends. Internationally award-winning improvisational organist Chris Ganza will roll out the great cathedral pipe organ console and set it nose to nose with Stephen C.'s 9-foot grand Bosendorfer. Wow.
I have. He reached out to me to see if I could do a version of the Christmas corn dog blues. I haven't decided yet.
Oh,
Did he
God,
really?
No,
Yeah.
please,
To
no.
sing in the cathedral?
No,
Yes.
no, no.
Woke up this morning
no.
inside the cathedral.
We don't need that place hit by lightning.
No, man, that's the cathedral.
Yeah.
No,
We're
no.
not
Show
singing
some
corn
respect.
dog blues.
Christmas corn dog.
Say before we move
me
on,
some Santa?
I need
December
to address.
15th.
I need to address Matura here.
Scotty, what's up?
Matura, I'm going to have to demand that you call us by our pronouns.
Yeah.
We are Flatlanders. Every time you write us an email, address us as Flatlanders.
Harry Flatlanders.
Yeah. That's all.
Sounds like a person on The Simpsons.
You get bleeping pronouns.
Flatlanders.
Flatlanders.
Only because they come to us all the way from the traveling Lymans who are in Eden Prairie.
Yeah, they're here.
You can read all about that on worldwidewaftage.com. On this day In 1857,
Joe, today is December 2nd.
the first state legislature convened 5 months before Minnesota was admitted to the Union. Despite its questionable legality, the session passed over 90 laws and elected Henry M. Rice and James M. Shields as U.S. senators. They went to Washington, D.C., and waited for statehood to become official so that they could begin their terms.
Okay. That
On
was
this
the old
day,
school.
on this day in 1858,
12-2.
the term Land of Lakes was first applied to Minnesota in the St. Anthony Falls newspaper called the Falls Evening News.
And when did we finally get rid of that racist image that they used for Land O'Lakes?
Well, you're thinking of the company Land of Lakes.
Land O'Lakes.
Land
Now,
O'Lakes.
this was just like a tourism thing.
Gotcha.
Land of Lakes.
Come to Minnesota.
And again, why your town makes this so often, I have no
What
idea.
did we do now?
On this day in 1884,
December 12th. No, 2nd.
Faribault's Waterworks passed their operations test, and the system was accepted on December 31st.
Okay, I'm from there. Who gives a damn?
Well, apparently
What's Faribault Waterworks?
Well, they probably had a faucet in the house by then.
It's it's one of those.
No, it's not.
It's a website.
I actually know exactly where it is.
I got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
By the way, have you heard anything lately about the tremendous drought in California?
Sure.
Oh, you have?
I have not.
It's been snowing and raining to
It's-
beat hell in the Sierras.
What
And it's-
Okay.
what I'm hearing is that it's over.
Well, it's been snowing and raining and winter storms aplenty, and God has renewed nature. Or nature has renewed California.
much to
It's
the
starting to. It's still got a ways to go.
much to the dismay of the climate
Yeah.
activists.
This
Happens every year, doesn't it?
might be a topic you may get into next week, but this just broke a little bit ago. California Governor Newsom's reparations committee is recommending handing out $223,200 per person to all descendants of slaves in California for housing discrimination at a cost of $559. What's BN mean? That's billion?
Billion.
Nation's biggest restitution effort ever.
I ain't paying it.
They didn't
never
have
owned
slave.
slaves.
They didn't have slavery in California.
I have so many questions.
He's a bad guy. I don't like that guy.
But
Didn't
what
they-
happened?
wait a
He
minute.
was reelected.
Shouldn't that go to the Spanish and the Mexicans? Because didn't we steal that from Mexico?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Not sure.
Or the Indians,
There you go.
the Native Americans.
You
Lot
always
of
forget about
tribes
the
in
natives.
California.
I always forget about the natives.
Yep.
I hope there's some college kids who, on the occasion of a graduation exercise, if the speaker says we've taken this land from the Dakota, I hope there are some college kids that stand up and say, then why don't you shut up about it and give it back?
Right.
I want to hear that from a college graduation ceremony. Give the damn land back then.
Okay.
Well, how about we're on land that we purchased from Napoleon, who took from the Spanish, who took from the Native Americans, or
Then
something
give it
along
back
that
to the
line.
French.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He's on
He's
a
on a
roll.
roll.
Don't bother. Thank you, GLers. Big win tonight, huh? 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts.
Are we gonna
That's
smell
my
it?
cup of tea.
gonna
You
sm-
can't smell it in this wind.
No, we're not going to, I don't think.
And Rice, predicts a big win for the Irish, huh?
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, he liked Rosemount, didn't he?
Rosemount, yeah. That's pretty.
Are they the Fighting Irish or just the Irish?
I don't know.
Oh. Stay tuned.
I
Find
used
out
to have
more.
that wind thing.
New Krabby Coffee Shop out this week. It was a pretty good one.
Was it worth it?
Probably our best,
Okay.
probably our only good one.
Copy that. Okay. Then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks
Friday
for the
afternoon.
applause.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate it. Check out Pod MN for all of your other podcasts.
Why'd you turn me down?
Because you were playing stuff that can't be on the show.
Well, turn me back up.
Oh.
Just like talking across your
Turn
I'm
'em
trying
up,
to
baby.
find, you can't smell it in this wind.
Running out
3,
of time.
2, 1.
I want to pay my respects to Joe Souchere, who, in his own way, the mayor of Garage Logic, makes an awful lot of sense out there.